Your website does not need to be complicated to be effective. Okay, you have about 3 to 5 seconds to grab someone's attention before they leave your site, and they may never come back. Now more than ever, people want to connect with the human behind the business. This is your chance to build trust and show that you understand their needs, whether you've been there before or you are just passionate about solving their specific problem. Confusion kills conversions, so you want to make this crystal clear. And just as a little added tip, it's better to focus on the benefits and not just the features of what it is that you offer. Over 60% of web traffic is mobile. So if you are not making your website mobile friendly and making sure that it has a good mobile website experience, then you are setting yourself up to lose potential clients from your website. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Tips Tuesday. Last week, we wrapped up our branding series discussing brand image and brand voice over the last couple of weeks. And it's pretty much safe to say that you guys are probably branding experts at this point. So this week, we are moving into our second pillar of this series, which is websites. Now, before I get started on any of this, I want to remind you that now that we have the YouTube channel up and running, please take a minute to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. And also make sure that you are subscribed to our email list so that you can get these delivered directly to your inbox every week. Okay, so I know that building a website can feel overwhelming, and there are so many options and so many pages that you could create and so many things that people are telling you that you must have. But here's the thing I want you to know and understand. Your website does not need to be complicated to be effective. Okay, so we are going to break down today exactly what it is that your website needs. Whether you are building a full multi-page website or keeping it simple with a one-page website, there are some essential elements every business needs on their website. And I want you to think of them as pages on a multi-page website, because multiple pages, or sections on a single page scrolling site. And I'll kind of get into what that single page website thing is all about a little bit further in. But either way, it works. So we are going to dive right in with what those essential elements or sections are for your website. The first one is going to be the home page, or if you are doing a single page website, this is also like your hero section. It is essentially the front door to your business. It's often the first impression that people are going to get, and it needs to quickly communicate who you are, what you do, and why someone should stick around. Now, let's talk about what needs to be on this homepage or hero section. You need a clear headline that immediately tells people what it is that you do and who it is that you serve, particularly in a format that they feel seen themselves in that statement. Right? Additionally, you need a brief explanation of how you help, not your whole life story, not all of the information that's found on your about page, which we'll get to, but just a brief explanation for them to see it and be like, oh yeah, I'm in the right place. And then there are visual elements that you should have that represent your brand, which we've talked about in the branding section. So making sure that you have photos and graphics and things like that that match the brand image and the feel that you want your people to have when they visit your website. You also need clear navigation to other pages or sections, which make it easy for people to get to what they want on your website. Even if you have a single page website, you can have a menu that jumps to the different sections of your page in the same way that your menu would open up new pages on your website. And then lastly, in this section or on this page, you need a call to action. And that's basically, what do you want your visitors to do next? Do you want them to book a call with you? Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter? Make it obvious, and try not to have more than two, no more than two call to actions. Because if you give people too many different places to go, they're not going to go anywhere. So I want you to think about why this matters. Okay, why does the homepage or the hero section matter? You have about 3 to 5 seconds to grab someone's attention before they leave your site, and they may never come back. Your homepage needs to answer the question, am I in the right place, immediately. If a visitor lands on your site and they can't quickly figure out what you do or how you are there to help them, they're probably not going to stick around. One tip that I want to add for you when you are working on this page or this section of your site is that it needs to be about the visitor. A lot of times the copy on websites is written about the business or the person behind the business, but it is important that you make it about your visitor and how you can solve their specific problem or problems. Lead with their needs, not your credentials. The next page or section that we want to talk about is the About page or the About section. And this is where you get to share your story, your why, what makes you uniquely qualified to help the people that are there, your audience, your people. People want to know who it is that they are working with. The things that need to be on this page is a bit of your story. How did you get there? What drives you? But keeping it relevant to your business. We don't need you to write a whole book. We just need to humanize you as the person or the people, if you have a team, behind your business. You can also share your credentials and experience here. And this is what qualifies you to do the work that you do or to provide the help and services that you provide. You want to explain to them what your values are. What do you stand for and what's important to you in your business? If you have not taken time to outline your core values of your business, I definitely suggest stopping to do that because it will also help you streamline the activities and daily things that you are doing in your business, because you should always be able to go back to, is this in support of my core values? And if the answer to that question is no, then it's probably something that's not important that you don't need to be doing. And then some personal touches, including like photos of you, fun facts, anything that makes you relatable and human. Again, people want to connect to the person or people behind the businesses that they are working with. And also on the About page, you want to give them a call to action. Even on the About page, you want to guide their next step. After they've read your introduction, what do you want them to do next? Because again, if you don't guide them, they may just leave. And the About page is important because it typically is the second most visited page on business websites after the homepage. Now more than ever, people want to connect with the human behind the business. This is your chance to build trust and show that you understand their needs, whether you've been there before or you are just passionate about solving their specific problem. Again, make it about the connection, not just your resume and your credentials. Share your qualifications, but focus on why you do what you do and how it relates to helping your ideal client. That will help them see if they are, in fact, your ideal client. Moving on to number 3, which is the services or products, offerings, whatever you want to call it. Basically, this is where you are outlining what you offer and how you can help people with what you do or what they buy from you. There should be no confusion. There should be no guessing, just clear information about what it is that you offer. What needs to be on this page specifically is going to be a list of your products and or services with clear names. Try to avoid overly clever names that confuse people. And if you are using catchy names or clever names and phrases to name your products and services, then make sure you are also providing a good description of what that offering entails. So make sure that it includes what's included and what problem it is solving for your audience. And then also help people identify if this is right for them. So make sure it says who this is for. And the next one is kind of a no-brainer, pricing, if you choose to share it publicly. I would say that at least having a starting at type of language or some type of range listed is good for both you and the people that are visiting your website, because it helps them see if your pricing is a deal breaker. That way they aren't wasting your time and you aren't having to hard sell them. If they already have an idea of what the pricing is going to be, then that's one less hurdle to have to jump over in your sales process. And then it's always nice to have some sort of process overview, like what happens when someone is working with you or when they buy from you. So clear communication on next steps, what to expect, and those types of things. And then this is where a strong call to action is extremely important for each and every product and service. That makes it easy for them to take the next step. If people can't clearly understand what it is that you offer, how much it costs, or at least have an idea of the general investment and how to get started with you, you're probably losing potential clients. Confusion kills conversions. So you want to make this crystal clear. And just as a little added tip, It's better to focus on the benefits and not just the features of what it is that you offer. So don't just tell them what you do, tell them what result they'll get or what problem you'll solve, because they know what they are coming to you for. They know what their problem is, or they know or have some sort of idea of what result ideally would be great for them. So you want to tell them more of that versus what it is that you'll actually be doing to get them there. Does that make sense? Number 4, which is a way for them to contact you. So a contact page or a contact section. And this is where you make it ridiculously easy for people to get in touch with you, to ask questions, or to book your services. And what needs to be here is a contact form. And I'm not talking about like one of those forms that is asking for their whole life story. You want to keep it simple. You want to get a way to contact them, their name, phone number, email address, those types of things, if you're using that, so that you have a way to contact them. And then maybe even a brief description of what it is that they want to get from you or what it is that they need help from, but you can follow up to get more in-depth information. You want to make this first contact as simple as possible. So on this page, contact form, again, keeping it simple, your email address, because some people do prefer to email you directly versus going the contact form route. And then it's always a good idea to have your business hours on there. And as an added bonus, response time expectations. You can do the response time expectations in like an email that responds to them to confirm that you received their form, or like in a pop-up message that comes up on the screen to let them know you've received their form. But at minimum, having your business hours so they know like, oh, if I'm submitting this form at 6 p.m., but their workday ends at 5, I probably, the earliest we'll hear from them is going to be the next business day. Giving actual expectations, if you are not someone who responds to all inquiries or all contact form submissions immediately, if it sometimes may be a day or two, then you want to make sure you set those expectations so that they kind of just have it in the back of their mind when they are going to be hearing back from you. Another good thing to have on your contact page, which is not absolutely necessary, but if you have them, links to your social media platforms. And it doesn't have to be every single platform that you are on. I suggest limiting to the ones that you are actually active on, because if they click on those profiles, it is giving them an additional picture into your world and how you operate, and another avenue to kind of get to know who you are and who your business is. So if you're not active on those profiles, then it might not be a good idea to link them. You also can include a booking link here if you use some type of scheduling software such as Calendly or any of the other options out there. And then optionally, specifically if you are a business with a physical location, you want to have your location on the contact page. Even if you don't have an office, if you serve a specific area, you want to make it kind of known to the people coming to your website what area you are servicing and who you are there for. This is important because you'd be surprised how many websites make it hard to get in touch. If someone is ready to get in touch but can't easily figure out how to do that, they'll just move on. I cannot stress it enough to make it easy for people to say yes to working with you. And then just as an added tip here, because technology is going to do what technology is going to do, always test your contact form. I suggest doing it at least like monthly so that you can make sure that the experience that your people who are submitting the contact form is a smooth one, but also that there isn't any type of technical glitches where forms are not coming to you. All right, moving on to our next one, which is number 5. This one is optional but highly recommended, and this is going to be your blog and or resources page, section, or whatever. This is the space where you can share helpful information, content, and what it does is helps establish you as the expert, and also can improve your search engine optimization so that people can actually find you on Google. So using Studio117 as an example, we have a blog of a lot of different type of articles about things that are relevant to the services that we provide. And also the reason that we create the blog post is it helps to answer a lot of questions that customers have in the process of working with us. So for instance, sometimes I may be telling a customer that this is what I recommend that they do, or this is why I recommend them doing something. And I'm able to link to a blog post that spells it out more clearly as a resource to support what it is that I'm telling them. Now, on the flip side of that, if there is someone who is just on Google searching how to do this thing or best practice for that thing or whatever else, and they come up on my article, they may read it, look at it as a resource, see that I offer these types of services, and now they are a warm lead that wants to get in touch to find out more about how I can potentially help them. So it works both ways in business. It can be useful with your existing clients, but it absolutely is a way for you to find other clients. I can't tell you how many people have just found me from a Google search and read a blog article on the Studio 117 Creative blog and then got in touch to actually book services that we offer. Okay, so when you are creating a blog or resources page, you want to make sure that you also have clear categories or tags that the blog posts or blog articles or resources are tagged with so that people can find the related content to what they are looking for easily. And then lastly, an email sign up form to capture interested visitors and build up your email list. Building up your email list is one of the best practices in business to having a space for warm leads, but also to be able to share information, newsletters, new offers, coupons, and things like that. You don't want to use email signups to be spammy, but you definitely can use it as a way to add added value to people who may not be in a place to invest with you right now, or may not need your services right now, but maybe they enjoy learning from you. Or there are certain things that you provide in terms of the knowledge that you give that keeps them connected, and you come up when maybe there's a need for a referral or when they have a need for your services down the line. Okay, so just to reiterate, a blog or resources section, it serves multiple purposes, including SEO benefits. Fresh content helps you rank in search engines because it tells Google that you are updating your website regularly. You haven't just thrown up some website and walked away from it, and that this website is a team member of your business, essentially. It helps establishes you as an expert because it shows off what you know. And then that also helps to build trust because you're giving value before asking for a sale or asking people to pay you. This also creates touch points where people can get to know you through your content before determining if they are ready to work with you. Okay. And then just to add here in terms of creating content, consistency matters more than frequency. So creating one helpful blog post per month is better than posting 5 times a month and then eventually ghosting your blog for 6 months. Try to pick a realistic schedule that you can actually stick to. So if once per month is all that you can commit to right now, start out once a month. If you find that you can bump it up, but the consistency of it is 1 time a month, that is much better than like front loading your blog with 5 posts and then like never showing up to your blog again. Okay. The thing I want to get into next is just some bonus pages to consider. And these are like not the essentials, but these are more like when you are ready. So once you have the essentials covered, these are some additional pages that can just elevate your website and just make it that much better. So having a portfolio or a space where you have case studies, which shows examples of your work and the results that you've achieved for clients, this is always what I like to say is like street cred in business. Having a portfolio and or case studies lets people see like, oh, well, she's done this or he's done that and this looks great, or oh, they worked with that one person and I know that person and I've seen their, business change or whatever else. Having a showcase of the work that you have done is just, again, another touch point for potential clients that are viewing your website. Additionally, this is equally beneficial, is going to be testimonials. So having a dedicated space for reviews or success stories from your clients. So portfolios are going to be like the work that you've actually done, right? Showcasing what you have done. The testimonials are the words of praise from people who have worked with you. And in some cases, it may not be words of praise, but maybe, and me personally, I love to see websites that may have like not great reviews, but that the person responded to the reviews and took an opportunity to learn from it instead of like getting defensive or something like that. So I say that to say that testimonials don't always have to be like 5-star reviews, right? It's just letting people understand what people are saying about the experience. Another good page to include is a frequently asked questions or FAQ section. And this is where you just answer common questions that you get to reduce back and forth and build confidence from your audience. So for me personally, if there is a question that comes up in an interaction with a client, whether in the booking process or even while we're working together, I a lot of times will be like, oh, if this person asked that, then I'm sure other people have this question. So I have an FAQ page that I will take questions that customers have asked me and throw those there as they come. Or if I think of things that people may wonder or have questions about in the process of building out my services or offers, then I make sure to try and answer those questions on the front end so that maybe they don't need to book a discovery call. Maybe they don't need to email me and go back and forth. And overall, it just builds the confidence in what it is that we will have in working together, if that makes sense. Okay. The next nice to have or bonus page that you may want to consider is going to be your privacy policy and or terms of service. This is especially important if you are collecting emails, running ads, or taking any type of payments on your website. These are sometimes legally required. So make sure that wherever you are located, you are playing by the rules of engagement and legal requirements for your area. So if a privacy policy and terms of service page is required, then this should be more up in your essentials and not your bonuses to have. Okay. The privacy policy in terms of service, privacy policy just kind of tells like if you're collecting information, how you actually use that information and where it goes, how it's stored. And if they want to say be removed from your email list or not targeted for your advertising, the steps that they need to take to opt out of those things. Where the terms of service are kind of exactly what they say. It's like the rules of engagement. So like they understand by visiting your website, even by working with you, these are the terms and conditions of that relationship. So again, those may be legally required. Make sure that you check into that because that's something that you don't want to play with. Another optional page to have, again, this one is up to you if you feel this to be something that you want to include as part of your business model, but having a resources or freebies page where it's basically like a hub for all of your free content or downloadable resources, templates, tools, things like that. There is no pressure to add any of these things right away. What I will say is that you should absolutely start with the essentials and add any of these extras that I've mentioned as you grow and identify that there's actually a need for any of these pages. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, which I told you we would circle back to at the beginning of our conversation, is one-page websites. Let me give you a little bit more insight into what the one-page website is, because some people don't know that having a single-page website is even an option. And the beautiful thing about it is everything that I outlined about a multi-page website or pages that you should have can absolutely exist on a single page website. It also is beneficial if you don't have a whole lot of website copy or words to put on the website yet, that you start with a one-page website to minimize how much work needs to go into building out the website, and then you can expand and grow from that single page, if that makes sense. I will drop a link to a couple resources for you in the description box that you can check out. I have an article that helps you determine if a single page website is good for your business. And then also I will drop the link to some of the single page websites that we have built right here in the studio for other businesses that might provide some inspiration for you. Okay. So with a single page website or a one page website, instead of separate pages, you'll have sections that visitors can scroll through. Your hero section is the equivalent of your homepage. You'll have an about section, a services section, a contact section. And then also if you have a blog, which obviously would be like a separate page on the one page website, you'll have an area where your different blog posts are listed so that visitors can see the resources that you have available, right? One page websites are perfect for new businesses that are just getting started, service providers with very straightforward offerings or a single offering. Anyone on a tight budget who needs a professional website but don't want to make the investment into building out a full-fledged website just yet, or businesses that just want a simple, streamlined user experience. You can always start with a one-page site and expand it to multiple pages, and it's fairly easy to do. This is something that you can do as your business grows and as your needs change. If you go the one-page route, make sure that your navigation is smoothly able to jump to the different sections of the one-page website, because nothing is more annoying than clicking on a menu item and nothing happening. And sometimes this is what I see as a big mistake on one-page websites, is that the menus are not properly functioning for people to be able to navigate the page and have a good user experience. And then just some common mistakes to avoid As you are building out your essential pages, I want you to watch out for these couple of things. The first one is having too much information. You don't need to tell your entire business story on every single page. Keeping it focused and relevant and saving the deep dives for like your blog content is probably going to be the best practice, because again, information overwhelm will make someone abandon your website altogether. Okay. The second mistake is not having any clear next steps. We talked about having a call to action on pretty much every single page, because you want to tell your visitors or guide your visitors to do something, whether it's to book a call, to sign up for your email list, to read more, to contact you. Don't leave them getting to the end of a page or section and being like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? You want to make sure you're kind of guiding them through the experience that you want them to have on your website. Third mistake is talking about yourself instead of your client. Even on the about page, you want to frame everything in terms of how it relates to helping your ideal client solve their problem. That is what they are coming to you for. They are there for them. So you need to be there for them. Okay. And then the fourth mistake is making people hunt for basic information, having your contact information, a way to book you, having your services, and some sort of pricing information. If you share that, should be really easy to find. Do not bury information 3 clicks deep that should be simple and easy to get to. If they are clicking your services page, then it should be there for them to find the information they're looking for without having to click through an additional 2 or 3 times to get the information that they need. And I have this one listed as the last one, but it probably should be the first one. This is forgetting the mobile experience. A lot of times when websites are built, it is done on a desktop or laptop computer. But think about how people consume information. Over 60% of web traffic is mobile. So if you are not making your website mobile friendly and making sure that it has a good mobile website experience, then you are setting yourself up to lose potential clients from your website. Make sure that your site not only looks good and functions well on a desktop computer or laptop computer, but also make sure that it functions well on a mobile device and tablets. That is one of the things that I explain to my customers when we are talking about web design. I design with a mobile first priority because I totally understand that the way that we are set up in our society, we consume most things on our phone first and then maybe on our computer. Okay. So I want to close out in normal fashion with giving you some action steps for this week and turning this into practical steps that you can take to make progress for what we're talking about. Okay. So if you already have a website, I want you to check to see if you have all 5 essential pages or sections on your one-page website that we talked about. All right. Identify which pages might be missing or need work, and then take some time and pick just one page to either draft for a new page, update, or improve within the next week. If you are building a new website, you need to decide if you want to start with a multi-page website or a one-page format. And then also start to think about the homepage or hero section of that website. Write out the key points for that page or section, and then follow suit for the additional essential areas of your website. All right. And then just remember that done is better than perfect. So it's better to have a simple, clear website with the essentials than to wait months trying to create an elaborate, perfect website with every feature that you can ever think of, or features that you saw this person have or this business have on their website. All right. And lastly, if you need help with your website, and this is whether you are starting from scratch, looking to revamp the website that you already have, or maybe you just have a couple small fixes that are needed for your website, this is what we specialize in the studio, okay? WordPress websites that actually work for your business. We can help you with building a strategic website with all of the essential pages, redesigning your website so that it converts better for clients and the people that you are looking to serve. If you need a simple one-page website that covers all of the bases, we got you on that. And making sure that you have a website that is mobile friendly and easy to maintain, okay? If you are interested in learning more, then check out the Studio117 Creative website, which is Studio117 studio117creative.com, or you can book a strategy call, which I'll have linked in the description below, to discuss what your needs are and what some good next steps would be to accomplish your goals. Okay. This has been a weekly series where I have been uploading videos every single week. This coming week, I will be taking off to celebrate my birthday, so I will be taking a break. I will see you back here for Tips Tuesday, not next week, but in 2 weeks. In that time, we will be discussing and diving into some website mistakes that could be costing you clients, and it'll be a checklist style audit that you can use to identify what might be driving people away from your website. And of course, I'm going to tell you how to fix it. Okay? Until next week. Bye, guys.